What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dolphin Chronicles right here on the Kendall Sports Network. My name is Johnny Cruz. I am here, of course, with my boy Byron. Byron, how you been, bud? We haven't had a show in a couple weeks. It's been kind of the dead time before training camp and stuff like that. So we took a couple weeks off. And how you been, and how anxious are you to get this going again?
Yeah, man. Took a couple of weeks off. Like you said, it was the dead period of the season. Good to kind of recharge the batteries up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As far as anxious, I mean, it's more itching than anxious. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me look at my calendar here. Next week, Wednesday, is football's officially back with the Hall of Fame game on August 1st.
Yeah.
College football
Yes.
kicks off towards the end of August. So we're a couple of weeks away from rearing it back to go at 100. So good to get a few weeks to kind of recharge and you know recharge those batteries back up again and get ready for a brand new football season. Oh, can't wait.
Absolutely, like you said, we're just a few weeks away from actual football. Less than a month, like you mentioned, in August, the August with the Hall of Fame game and stuff like that, and all the preseason games and stuff like that. But training camp is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams have opened up already. A lot of teams are there. So there's a lot of intriguing stuff going on around training camp. But before we get on that, if you're new to the show, hit the subscribe button, give us a big fat thumbs up. Make sure you turn on notifications so you know whenever we go out live. The Dolphins Chronicles every Monday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Also on the Kendall Sports Network, you have Tell Me the Soccer Show on Thursday. My apologies. It's been a minute.
False nine.
False nine, which I need to say that repeatedly like 8 times to lock it in. But false nine is all things Inter Miami. That is Thursday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time with our very own Mr. Byron Garcia and the one and only Mark, who is an encyclopedia of soccer knowledge, especially when it comes to Inter Miami. And he loves to talk about it. And he is very knowledgeable. So definitely check that out if you love soccer, if you love Inter Miami. You don't even have to be an Inter Miami fan, and you'll get some knowledge from my boy Mark. So definitely check that out. Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard. And of course, this week in Miami, every Friday night with Byron and our third leg, who decided that he needed to, be a responsible adult and continue working late tonight. Our boy Alex, who's not with us tonight, but he's with us in spirit. He hosts a show on Friday nights with our boy Byron. So again, if you're new, hit the subscribe, smash that like button, and definitely turn on the notifications so you know whenever we're going live. Those are the set times for these 3 shows. But if craziness happens or something like that, we got an emergency show or something that we got to do, you want to be notified when we come on. So definitely have that ready. So like I said, training camp is upon us, and it didn't hit me to the extent of when I heard the Ricky news. Because when I heard the Ricky news, I was heartbroken. I ain't even gonna front. You know what I'm saying, when I heard about Ricky, but
The first time or the second time?
No, the first time.
Gotcha.
The first time, like, that hurt because he was coming off of the 2 great seasons. Even though I was frustrated that we didn't draft Drew Brees, I was still excited about Ricky Williams, but he decided right before training camp that he was going to retire. This is a little bit different of a case. Shaq Barrett, as most Dolphin fans know already, has decided that he wanted to hang him up. He wants to spend more time with the family. I am never going to hate on somebody if want to do that. I think we talked about this when we first signed him and the stuff that he went through last year. He actually lost a child last year. So when the man says that he wants to spend his time with his family, I am not going to begrudge him at all. I'm glad he did it now, and was real about it, as opposed to attempting to play and then kind of half-assing it throughout the season and then calling it quits, week 5 or week 6 or something like that. So he called it quits now. We're able to recoup, his contract was a 1-year deal, $7 million with $5 million signing bonus. He, like I said, he wanted to spend more time with his family. It came the day after Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb both got placed on the PUP list, which we knew. But the Dolphins do wind up getting back $9 million in cap space. So as you might have heard, Emmanuel Agba and Yannick Ngakoue have both come in for some workouts today to replace Shaq Barrett. What were your initial thoughts on Shaq calling it quits? And how do you feel about the two guys that have come in for workouts so far?
Well, before we get to how I felt about Shaq's retirement, you kind of triggered two things. One, oh my God, Jason Allen. Blah. I mean, he was okay, but I'm not taking Jason Allen over Drew Brees. That's number one. And number two, oh my God, I just brain farted on number two.
Ricky
Jason Allen.
retiring.
Yeah. I'll get back to it, but
Yeah.
I wasn't. Oh, here's a second one. You said glad he did it now as opposed to week 5. Another Dolphin connection took me back to Vontae Davis retiring at halftime of a game.
Yeah.
So glad he did it now and not at halftime in week 4. May he rest in peace. Vontae Davis, always good memories.
Right.
But
or God forbid, like something like and I don't know how serious his injury was, Will Fuller, but I mean he had a finger injury that lasted all year. You know what I'm saying? So I think he made out with like $7-8 million, and he played like a handful of snaps. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean Byron Jones retired, and he retired making almost $30 million in that one year. He didn't play a snap.
Right. So I mean, like I said, if Shaq Barrett, you know what I'm saying, he's put his time in. If he I was excited about him because I thought, he was gonna come in with a chip on his shoulder. I thought he'd be a good influence for Chop and for Mo Kamara. But I still think we got the vets in there that will help those two young guys, including Chubb and Phillips. I think the Calais Campbell is more than enough experience as far as the defensive side of the ball. But I was anxious to see what Shaq could give us. But yeah, I'll let you get back to it. Your thoughts on Emmanuel Agba coming back for a possible reunion, or for Yannick Ngakoue, who has some history with Anthony Weaver in Baltimore. What are your thoughts?
So a few things. Number one, I think you're absolutely right on Calais Campbell. We're not hurt for leadership on that side of the football, especially on that line. If his retiring means Chop and Mo get a little bit more playing time, I'm okay with it. But him retiring now, the Dolphins get back his entire signing bonus and his base salary. That adds up to about $9 million because we don't get back incentives because we never paid them out. So we get back about $9 million in salary, and that leaves us at $21 million. If you can pick up both Emmanuel Agba and Yannick Ngakoue for $2 or $3 million over what you got back, so I don't know, get both of them for $7 apiece, that puts you at 14. That's $5 million that came out of pocket for two guys.
You giving Emmanuel $7 million, bro?
Yeah, I believe so. Emmanuel Agba signed a 4-year, $65 million contract with Miami in 2022.
Right.
He didn't get to live that contract. He got cut in February of this past year to clear up 13.7 million, I think it was.
Right.
And Yannick Ngakoue last signed with the Bears on a 1-year, $10.5 million deal. Yannick Ngakoue's big payday should have been with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He didn't get it.
Right.
So anybody who's going to pay him now is going to be a Bears. It's going to be a Giants. It's going to be teams that are going to be nowhere near the top of the AFC or the top of the NFC for that matter.
Right.
So do I think Emmanuel Agba at this point in the game is happy to get a contract somewhere?
Right.
And
that's why I'm saying I think we can get him for less than 7.
Well,
That's what
I'm
I'm
just
saying.
I'm throwing it out there because
Right.
I mean, 2 for 1 ain't bad, and
No,
we're
yeah.
not talking about scrubs either.
Right. Right.
So the way Anthony Weaver has said in his press conferences, and the way Anthony Weaver played in Baltimore, what's his biggest thing?
Rotation, and you know what I'm
Ro-
saying?
Rotation, rotation, rotation.
Yeah.
100%. If
Yep.
you can get more bodies, quality bodies,
Right.
oh, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach Barrett.
True that. I hear you on that. Yeah, if I think you can get them a little cheaper. Like I said, you could probably get them both for 10, $11 million. Like somewhere around what you were saying. Probably you might need to give Yannick a little bit extra. He's a little younger. He's got more pass rush ability, in my opinion. But if you had to pick just the one, who would you prefer over Emmanuel or Yannick?
So, you know me. I think this team's number one priority should be to stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen Emmanuel Agba set that edge. That's where he made his money. Um, who was? Oh my God, I just forgot the old guy's name. Vic Fangio was not a fan. He preferred guys like Andrew Van Ginkel.
Right,
Um, Flores preferred guys like Agba. I feel like Anthony Weaver prefers a guy like Agba, someone who's going to set that edge and let those linebackers roam free.
right.
Um, so if you're asking me today, I'm taking Agba.
Okay. I mean, they're similar players. I'm with you. With Emmanuel is probably a little bit better against the run. I think Yannick has a better arsenal as far as pass rushing. Emmanuel also has the ability to tip passes. He was great at that for us for a couple years. I think Yannick may be a couple years younger, but at this point, it's going to be a 1 year deal anyway, so I don't really care about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that Yannick has played for Anthony Weaver before, so there's a little familiarity there. Um, so it'll be interesting to see who we go with, and if they decide, well, we bringing both of them on. Like you mentioned, we got about $21 million of cap space available to us. Plus, there's other moves that could be made, which we will, touch on in a couple minutes. That can free up a little bit more space, but that's going to be an interesting thing to see what they do there. I'm with you as far as Chop and Mo Kamara getting more playing time. They're gonna have to hit the ground running. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like those kids are gonna have to learn. You know what I'm saying? With feet to the fire and just going. Thrown to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? The baby floaties are not going to be worn on this. They're going to be thrown into the deep end, and they're just going to have to, sink or swim. So
Well,
hopefully they can swim and get going.
shout out to our boy Mark. He says, "What's good, fellas?"
What up?
Just
What up?
talking about them Dolphins. I think that the young guys are going to get a lot of run in the preseason. You do have a lot of veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't anticipate Calais Campbell playing in the preseason. I don't anticipate, you know, a lot of the veterans playing. So you're gonna get to see a lot of Mo, a lot of Chop. But
Right.
my thing is this: if we don't need those kids to be world beaters, have
Right.
Anthony Weaver put them in situational success packages.
Right.
And then all they got to do is just, they don't have to be great, just hold the water.
Right.
In about October, if not late, I want to say October, we may be able to get Chubb and Phillips back. And I mean, that's drafting 2 first rounders in the middle of a season.
Right.
I mean, that's only going to further limit the exposure that Chop Robinson and Mo Kamara have. That's just going to say, hey, listen, when it's third down and it's 3rd and 15, hey, kids, go out there, burn
Right.
all that energy, go get them.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like it's just hold the water. Don't don't try to be too much. Just hold the water early. I think that's the key to the season.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And like you mentioned, um, we're both guys that believe in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
And the games are won and lost in the trenches. Yes, the deep passes and all that stuff is really nice, but if you don't have the work getting done in the trenches, in those interior, in those offensive and defensive lines, you're not going to be successful. I like our chances against the run, especially with a pickup like Calais Campbell. I think Zach Sealer is going to have a little motivation to him too, losing his boy. I think he's going to want to prove that it wasn't because of Wilkins that he was playing well. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to want to be able to show that he can stand on his own without Wilkins. So I expect him to play well. I expect, like you mentioned, Anthony Weaver to with the rotation and with the type of way that he's going to want to use, especially the back seven and the rotation up front. Like I'm expecting a lot of exotic stuff and a lot of funky looking stuff. I think Teron Armstead in an interview with Kay Adams, the one and only Kay Adams, mentioned that this defense looks spooky. So I'm hoping that that's a bunch of different type of exotic blitzes and different packages and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of versatile pieces to play with, including those two youngsters, like we mentioned, in Chop and Mo. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do with this defense. So I'm anxious for it. I'm looking forward to it. But I think we are going to do well against the run to start off the season. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm not as optimistic as you are with the Chubb and Phillips. More Phillips and Chubb. I think Chubb will probably be more middle November because his ACL that was late in the season. So I think it may take him a little longer, even though modern science with ACLs is better than it is with Achilles.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, an
Yeah,
ACL, you see guys come back a little bit sooner. They
yeah,
may not be 100%, but
right.
they're
But
out.
yeah, they could slowly kind of get accumulate, get mixed into get put into the mix to see how they do. That'll be interesting to see. But like you said, that's two. Although they may not be at Pro Bowl levels when they come back, but those are two guys that will definitely contribute to the team. And if the rest of the team is playing well and staying healthy, I think we have an opportunity to be a really good defense. I think we could surprise some people on defense. Couple little notes from training camp opening. Taj Washington, the seventh round pick, wide receiver out of USC. I like this kid. I like his ability. He's been put on the injured. He was injured during team offseason practice, placed on the PUP list, out indefinitely. That never sounds good.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
I,
it's 8 weeks from now, or sometime before he speaks. I think it's 8 weeks. They said.
yeah. So I mean, this could very well, which is, I mean, it's a seventh round pick, and I like the kid because he's got crazy athletic ability. But this could very well be a redshirt year for him. The injury could, I mean, that could be one of those. Hey, you know what I'm saying, that injury is going to keep you out a little longer than it should. You know what I'm saying, because we don't want to risk losing you on the practice squad type things. Nudge, nudge. It could be one of those type of things because the kid has
Mm-hmm.
talent. The kid has talent. But we have a plethora of talent on in the wide receiver room. I'm telling you guys, Malik Washington is going to turn some heads. He's going to make some plays for us this year. I'm anxious and I'm excited to see what he can do. Um, but before we wrap things up here on this edition of the Dolphins Chronicle right here on the Kendall Sports Network, once again, if you're new, hit subscribe, smash that like button, turn on those notifications so you know whenever we are going live. Again, every Monday night, 7:30 Eastern time, right here on the Kendall Sports Network, the Dolphin Chronicles. Myself, Byron, and it's usually our boy Alex is with us too. But like I said before, he is being an adult and he is working late at his job, taking care of his fam. So much love and respect to Alex, but he is always with us in spirit, and I'm sure he's if I'm sure he's thinking about the Dolphins because my man is always thinking about Miami sports. So. And thanks, Mark, for coming out and in the comments. And of course, you can find Mark and Byron again on False Nine, all things Inter Miami every Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and again Friday nights this week in Miami. is every Friday night, 7:30. All things 305, all things Miami-Dade, and it literally anything to do with Miami. They talk about it. My boy Byron and Alex every Friday night, 7:30 Eastern time. So definitely check us out. All right, so we got to talk about numero uno.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a report that Jordan Love is doing a hold in. He reported, but I guess he's not practicing
Well, that's the
until
only option now with the new CBA.
right, right. Which I don't blame him. But I got a two-part question for you on this one. With Jordan Love making that move there, and Schefter, the latest report from Adam Schefter reports that Tua and the Dolphins aren't as far along in contract negotiations as the Packers are with Jordan Love. But he's doing the hold in thing. Two-part. One is, do you think they get the deal done before practice start, like within the next 48 hours, possibly? And two, do you see Tua being that type of dude that he does the hold in, or does he practice?
Two-part answer.
Go
One,
for it.
I think that they don't get a deal done. I
Okay.
think I think they'll get it done before the season. I don't think they get it done before training camp. Number two, I think Tua practices and does everything except team activities.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he'll be around, he'll work out, he'll do everything with the team except do 11 on 11s. I'm sure he'll do 7 on 7s. I'm sure he'll do,
Right.
all that. But the 11 on 11, where the stuff starts to count, I think he holds himself out of that. And then that in turn puts a little bit of pressure on that team. We don't have a quarterback that is
Mm-hmm.
aching for development. So
Right.
it's not like he's hurting himself there. They've seen Skylar Thompson. They know what Mike White is.
Right.
If they had drafted a kid, I don't know, like
That kid out of Tennessee, I would have liked, man.
right, something like that, where now all of
Yeah.
a sudden this kid's getting reps that he shouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
been getting, that Tua might have gotten, and all of a sudden this kid starts looking good. There's a little bit of pressure, but with that situation not being the case, I think Tua's mature. He'll come in, do everything except the 11 and 11s. And I think that once he starts missing 11 and 11s, the Dolphins will start sweating. That combination, I think they get a deal done before the season. I don't think they get it done before training camp. That leverage that both sides think they have is going to be important to each side.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And if most Dolphin fans know, that's exactly what Christian Wilkins did last training camp. He participated in all the individual drills, all the position drills and stuff like that. He just did not partake in any 11 on 11, which is full pads and about as close to hitting as you're gonna get in practice. Because they don't do like they did back in the day with the 2-a-days and stuff like that. They don't do that. They're not allowed to do that anymore. So he won't do any of the 11-11. So I'm with you on possibly that. I mean, I don't even know if he does that, man. Like he just doesn't seem like that type of kid. But maybe he needs to do that just to light a fire under their asses. But I think both sides want to get it done. But I'm with you. I don't think it happens until probably like I think he should do that personally. If I'm you, if I'm him, like you said, I partake in the drills and the BS stuff like that, and then with the 11 on 11, I sit back and chill and let them watch Mike White try to run the offense and let them see. Okay, is that really how y'all want to go? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because I think that'll show them, yeah, we need to get this kid signed because you know what I'm saying, he can run our offense the way we need it to be run. And I think we all know if it was up to Mike McDaniel, this would have been gotten done. But it's up to Chris Greer and Stephen Ross to make that decision. But I think I'm with you. I think it happens before the start of the season. I think it happens even before the start of the first preseason game, to be quite honest. I don't think they drag it out till the first week of the season. I think right before that Hall of Fame game or right before the split practices with team, or you know what I'm saying, where they match up with other teams. I think before they even do that, I think they'll wind up getting it done. So the next question for you is, if they do get it done, what's that number going to be?
I mean, listen, I'm on record saying give. I'm an asshole. Listen, give him what was it? Give him 53 one year, bro. Prove it again. Um, but you think they get it done by next week Thursday, before next week Thursday?
No. Well, the oh well oh wow, because that's already the first inner scrim
That's the Hall of
inner
Fame game.
practice. The Hall of Fame game is August 1st.
Yes, sir. That's next week Thursday.
Holy shit!
That's what I'm saying. It's
Wow,
that we're gearing up to start getting ready. We get football back in a week and 3 days.
wow. Like that really jumped on us quick, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Um. Okay. All right. I mean, we still wouldn't play until that Saturday, probably, or Friday night, or something like that. I don't know when our game technically is.
Well,
Um.
I'm not sure, but
I
just
still I still say yes. I still say before our first preseason game in 2 weeks. Let's just say it's 2 weeks from now,
uh-huh.
or 2 weeks. 17 days from now, or whatever. I think they get it done. The number, I don't know. I guess they'll make it look like he gets $53 million, but actual money probably won't be that. I think the snag, and I think we've talked about this before. I think the snag is the fact that I think the Dolphins are trying to, like, they're trying to secure themselves an out earlier than what he probably wants to give them. Like,
Probably.
I think they want to. They probably are willing to give him a 4 or 5 year deal, but they probably want an out after the first year of actual money on this contract. So he would play his 5th year essentially. You know what I'm saying? And then after the first year of actual money on the new contract, I think they would want an out after that, ideally. So that way they would have 2 seasons to see how he does. But I think he's probably like, nah, he ain't trying to play that. And they can give him as much money as they want in that and then still spread it out. But I think the out is probably what the snag is. It's either that or he's asking for top dollar.
So you don't think it's the number, you think it's the language.
No, I think it's the language. I think they want some type of security, either for injury or if he, you know what I'm saying, doesn't come up like this. That's a nice gauntlet. Those last 6 games, we talked about it when the schedule came out, against some playoff caliber teams.
Towards the end of the season?
Yeah, some cold weather games where, you know what I'm saying, that's usually when teams are a little bit banged up. You know what I'm saying. So is he going to be able to win games for us? Is he going to be able to perform when we need him to perform? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my son Jonathan, who is a big time Tua supporter. But what I keep telling him is I need to see it when it, you know what I'm saying, when it really matters, when it counts in December, in January, towards the end of the season. I need to see him. I know he played well a couple years ago up in Buffalo towards the end of the season. It was cold that night up there in Buffalo. He played well, even though we lost. You know what I'm saying? So he has the ability to do it, in my opinion. I just need to see it consistently. You know what I'm saying? You can't go 1-6 against above 500 teams this year. Like, that cannot happen again. So
You already know the game that gets me, and it wasn't although the Buffalo game hurt, it wasn't the Buffalo game. To me,
it was Baltimore.
no. To me, it was a Tennessee game. That's the game you needed against a shit team, against a shit quarterback.
Yeah.
That's the game you needed to win, and y'all couldn't get it done.
They couldn't get a first down, bro.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
couldn't get a first down in the last 8 minutes of the game, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was crazy. Like, I mean, and I looked at that one honestly at the time. I mean, of course, at the time I was just infuriated with how the game was going, and whatever. But I mean, it was an ugly game. We weren't doing well. We got gifted those couple touchdowns towards the end of the game to give us that lead in the first place. So it was almost like the football guys were like, "Here, you guys, we'll let you guys get this win because you're the better team." And then, oh no, psych. And then the gods just pulled it right back away because we were not playing well in that game anyway. And then Will Levis, you know what I'm saying, got some fire under him, and he balled out against us. You know what I'm saying? So, but all we needed was a couple of first downs. Like, and it's happened more than just that game, bro. Like, there's been a couple of games, and yes, people point at the Dallas game where, you know what I'm saying, he led it that final drive to kick the field goal to win. But if you remember, we had 5 field goals in that game. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he played very, very well in that game. You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, the consistency, I need to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank God Prescott was on the other end.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, that's exactly how I feel about it. Yes, I'm with you on that 110%. And I like the kid. I like everything about this kid. I love the way his maturity is. I love the way he's a perfect face of the franchise quarterback. He conducts himself in a very mature and respectful way. You know what I'm saying? He's a God-fearing man. He's a family man. You know, I love all that about him. You know what I'm saying? And I love the attributes. I love the accuracy. I love the quick release. You know what I'm saying? I love the footwork when it's on point. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important. Is if when his footwork is right, he can get to another level. He's never going to have the arm strength, but if his footwork is right and his base is good, you know what I'm saying, with that quick release and the accuracy, he's going to play well. So he has the ability to play well. I just need to see it more consistent. He lost the weight so that he could be a little bit more agile, a little bit more mobile. Not
That's
that we need to
see, going to help him the most.
See him running a lot, but I totally agree, because there's those times when there's that 3rd and 2, and for whatever reason, Mike McDaniel doesn't want to run the ball. You know, say, the 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6.
That's another argument we're having.
Right? Yeah, he can roll out and he can just run and go get those 5 or 6 yards just to keep the chains moving, because he did that the first 2 years. And that was coming off of a catastrophic injury. He did that the first couple of years. We saw him have the ability to do that. So I think he has all the ability. We just need to see it more consistently. So that's what I'm looking to see from the kids. So that's why I think they're hesitant. That and the injuries are why they're hesitant to, like, just commit to, okay, you're guaranteed at least 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I think either they want to make either this 5th year and the first year of the deal, or the first 2 years. You know, so they basically want to out after 3 years. This one and 2 more, which I think is fair. But he may want at least 4 years, or he may say, if you want an out after 3 years, then I want 150 guaranteed for those 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Which is 50 mil a year. Which, I mean, that's the going rate, man. So, I know you said just give him 51, and say that that's not going to happen. But
give him the 53.
A realistic number. Do you think? If I told you right now, hey, they signed to a 4-year deal, what number would you be okay with? They just signed a 4-year extension.
200 guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean that's more than Trevor Lawrence, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, if he plays it out all the way, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's about what Trevor Lawrence and Jared Goff have made. So
I think get 50 guaranteed, and everything else make it look fluffy. So right. If it's a 4-year, 275, 280 with, I don't know, 175 to 200 guaranteed, that puts him at about 50, 40 something, 50 something guaranteed.
Right.
Whatever, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's Stephen Ross's money, not mine.
Facts. I'm with you on that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Once again, thanks for checking us out. You know what I'm saying? We had to take a couple of weeks off. Apologies for me not having my face out on the screen. But you know what I'm saying, your boy is trying to be as comfortable as possible, because my back won't allow me to just sit anywhere I want to be comfortable. And apologies for Byron's screen being a little frozen.
It's what it is. It's not a Kendall Sports Network show if I'm not frozen.
Yes.
And there I am. Back
and
again.
Boom. Yeah. You ask, there you go. You talk about it, and then it loses. It gets back right. But no, this has been fun. It's been definitely due. Like you mentioned, football is upon us. August 1st is right around the corner. We got college football coming up. So again, hit the subscribe, smash that like button, turn on your notifications. The Dolphin Chronicles every Monday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Myself, Byron, and Alex should be with us next week. Thursday nights, False Nine, all things Inter Miami with our boy Byron here and Mr. Mark Gonzalez. All things Inter Miami, all things soccer. I mean, the man knows soccer. So jump in those comment section, ask your soccer questions. We got the Olympics coming up. So if you got something that you want to ask them about with the Olympics or anything else going on soccer, make sure you check them out Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, Friday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time this week in Miami with Byron and our boy Alex Bastille. So definitely check us out. Appreciate you coming out and seeing us. We will be back next Monday. Maybe we'll have some news about a new defensive end or two, and maybe even possibly a quarterback contract that we can talk about. But at the very least, we'll be discussing the first week or so of training camp, and we'll give you all the news and notes that you need to know about our beloved Miami Dolphins. Before we get up out of here, Byron, let the people know where they can find you.
At Paramount Pete on X, Twitter.
And you can find me at the Yankee Fin on all your social media sites, X, Instagram, all that. I try to be on there as much as I possibly can, but at the same time, life and work and stuff happens. But hit me up, and I'll definitely comment. But again, if you're new, hit the subscribe, smash that like, and definitely turn on the notifications so you know whenever we are going live. For my boy Byron and for Alex, who's with us in spirit, I am Johnny Cruz. This is the Dolphin Chronicles. This is the Can Do Sports Network. We will see you next Monday. Thanks for checking us out. Byron, hit that outro, bro.
Later, guys.